my name is Ashley Mullins, and this is my YouTube channel, Self-Care with Ashley. And on my channel, I interview different people. I started out focusing mainly on addiction, but then I started thinking, you know, I want to relate to everybody because everybody struggles with something, whether it be weight or relationships, literally anything. So I'm a storyteller. I'm very passionate about people. I love hearing and figuring out why people are the way that they are. So I hope these videos help you. And the other day I got the pleasure of filming Renee, and she shared with me her journey on weight loss and just kind of learning how to love herself and overcome all of the obstacles that come with a huge life change like that. And I think it's something we can all relate to, whether you're losing weight or not. And I have 4 people lined up to talk about addiction, their story, how they got involved into drugs, so be watching for that. Here is Megan's story of her journey through her weight loss and learning how to love herself again, learning how to be a mom and working and just taking on life's responsibilities, all while changing herself and loving herself. And I really hope you're as inspired as I am by Megan. So here she is.
Alright, my name is Megan. I'm 30 years old. I have an 8-year-old, soon to be 9-year-old daughter, and I work full-time for a local health system. I'm a medical assistant. Currently engaged to be married. Still waiting on that day to come due to COVID and everything, but yeah, that's about it.
How long have you been on this weight loss journey, and how much weight have you lost, and what is your goal?
So I started back in October of 2019. I was around 286 pounds. That was a lot. And I am currently down to 188 as of this morning, and 170 is my goal, which is still technically considered to be overweight for my height, but I feel like that's a healthy goal for me to set, you know, just to begin with.
How do you set realistic goals for yourself? Because I know some people want to lose 50 pounds and they want it now.
I think setting a realistic goal is more of a, instead of actually setting a goal for yourself, it's starting out with a change. I know that when I first started out, I was not doing everything that I could be doing, but I knew what I was doing was better than nothing. When you start out and you expect to lose weight and look great instantly, you're gonna set yourself up for failure, because it does take a lot of hard work and dedication. It takes a lot of time, a lot of focusing on yourself and trying to make those changes, so that way you can keep your goal and stay healthy longer.
Can you tell me about the moment you decided, like, this is it, I have to get healthier? What was that moment like for you?
So I actually saw a picture of myself that somebody else had taken, and I was standing by a fire, and I realized then just how unhealthy I'd become, and I was very discouraged. So a little bit of background about me: my dad actually passed away at a very young age of complications due to his obesity, and I saw myself in that picture, and I looked like him, and I knew that it was time to make a change, because again, I'm a mom. I want to be around for my kid. I want to be there and see her grow up and, you know, just live life to the fullest. So that was the true deciding moment for me. And again, it didn't start out as just hitting it hard. It was just little changes. I mean, that's the true way to start, I feel like. As long as you're doing something, it's better than doing nothing.
Do you think in your personal experience, was food some sort of outlet or addiction for you, like an emotional eater?
Yes, and absolutely, it still is. It's still something that I struggle with, and it's probably going to be something that I struggle with my whole life. It's so easy when you have a bad day to just be like, oh, I feel like crap today, I'm just going to eat whatever I want. And that's a very hard cycle to break.
Can you talk about the feelings of self-love and confidence that come along with seeing results?
When you start noticing, people complimenting you, that's of course just a huge boost of confidence. But I think the most important factor is more about how I feel, the things that I can accomplish now that I was never able to do before. The other day we went to the trampoline park and I jumped with my kid for like an hour and a half, and that is a huge accomplishment for me, and you start feeling that you can do more things, and that kind of gives me more confidence than just looking better, I guess. Just being able to be present and to go on bike rides and go for walks and go for hikes with my kid, and that's just the biggest booster in my life. That's the reason why I wanted to do this in the first place.
Obviously, there's always days that are going to be harder than others. How do you get through that?
Absolutely. You will have days where you still struggle. I still have tons of days. Yesterday was one of those. The biggest thing is you got to keep moving forward. Even if you have a bad day and you think, oh, I feel like I'm slipping back into that old lifestyle, allow yourself to do it for a day and then get right back at it the next day. Keep moving forward and never stop.
What do you think the correlation is between mental health and physical health?
Before, when I weighed, as much as I did when I was very heavy, I have very bad anxiety, and I struggle with depression back then. I was taking antidepressants and I would think I was doing better, and then I'd stop taking them and then I'd kind of spiral downward again. Since going to the gym and, working on myself and trying to live a healthier lifestyle, I actually no longer have to take any medication for it. Exercise definitely releases endorphins, and it just makes you feel so much better. So mental health and physical health definitely are completely correlated. They go hand in hand.
What has worked for you, like meal planning, exercising, obviously, and how many days do you dedicate to it? I know in the beginning you were working out 7 days a week.
Yes. It kind of depends. So food prepping is something that I just recently started doing, and it's definitely helping. There are mornings, when you wake up, because I work first thing in the morning, and I'd be like, oh, what am I gonna have for lunch today? So meal prepping is definitely a good tool if you are trying to lose weight. You can pre-portion everything out. You understand, what you're eating. It's planned. It's a godsend. As far as like diet and exercise, or the actual exercise portion of it, some weeks I'll do 7 days a week. Sometimes, I'll give myself that little bit of a rest, but I change it up every day. Even if I'm exercising 7 days a week, maybe 1 or 2 of those days I might just be going on a stroll or on a walk with my kid, a small little bike ride. But for me, it's important to keep moving, because again, if you don't, I kind of lose that motivation if I take a break. But again, taking a break, I'll just go on a walk. I walk on my lunch sometimes, and it's just little things like that do add up in the long run.
How long did it take you to actually form a habit? Because they say, after 30 days it's a habit, after 90 days it's a lifestyle. Would you say that's true?
I would, yes. When I first started again, I would just start by going on walks. We're actually here at Allmiller Park. I don't live very far from here. And we would start going on walks every single night. And then back, like in October of 2019, that's when I really tried to start forming that habit. And I started going to the gym. Within a couple of weeks, it felt, again, that those endorphins that you get from exercise definitely helped. I knew I would feel better if I went to the gym. And then now it's just like an everyday thing. It's just a part of my routine. Sometimes a very hard part of the routine because again, I'm a mom, I work full time, so I do usually get up at like 4:15 in the morning to go to the gym. But that's it's nice because that's my me time. It's very important to take time for yourself and to work on yourself. So it's definitely a good feeling when you wake up in the morning and you accomplish something like that before you even go. But yeah, definitely a lifestyle choice at this point.
Yeah, that's another thing I was gonna say. I bet that's an amazing way to start your morning. Yes. Because again, you're accomplished and
it frees up the evening so you can hang out with your family or you know, now with tomorrow or with today being the time change, it might kind of throw that off a little bit. But I like being home in the evenings. I like having time to do things with my family. So that's the biggest thing that drives me to actually wake myself up in the morning, is knowing that, oh, the evenings, you know, we can go for that walk, or we can, you know, sit at home or go do something together as a family, and I'm not going to be at the gym for a couple hours.
Now, does your family eat healthy as well? Because I know with me, and like when I was growing up, I always had meal time with my family. So does that also, you know, does your kid and your fiance eat?
Yeah. They do to some extent. We try to eat pretty healthy. A lot of the meals I'll prepare and I will make, you know, something that we will eat together, but I'll just kind of modify mine. So like if we have spaghetti or, you know, anything like that, they'll have spaghetti with regular meatballs, and then I'll have like zucchini spaghetti with turkey meatballs. There are some meals that, you know, we do eat together, completely normal. We eat a lot of salads. I know that sounds weird, but my kid actually loves salad. So some nights it is kind of difficult to come up with that plan because I don't want to force my restrictions on them. Now again, like I said, some nights we do, you know, like salad or whatever we can all have together. But usually we just try to modify mine just a tad bit, so that way we're still eating the same thing, but it's just a healthier version for me.
Have you tried any diets or shortcuts or anything like that, especially in the beginning? And can you talk a little bit about what you tried?
Yes, I actually tried the keto diet. It went really great for about 3 weeks. Well, no, it was probably about a month. And I lost about 30 pounds in that month. And then I cracked and decided I really needed Taco Bell and gained all of that and then some back. Definitely the fad diets, they work for some people, but again, my whole goal was to make an actual change and to, you know, if you're trying to drop weight quick and you want to try a fad diet like that, if you have a special occasion or something, you know, that might be for you. But I think the best thing in the long run, if you're trying to actually obtain a goal of living a healthier lifestyle, it's definitely better just to, you know, try to make those subtle changes. If, you know, if you're craving something sweet, pick up an apple instead of a candy bar. You know, it's those little changes that really add up. My family, Andy and Zoe, they love Arby's, and we go to Arby's quite a bit, but they have salads. So instead of those fries, I swap it out for a salad. I know it doesn't sound as good, but after a while, it's not too bad. And then some sort of protein, like their gyro meat is really good, and I'll just put it on the salad and eat it like that. There are definitely healthier choices when you are eating out. You just got to kind of look for them, and it might not sound too appealing, but they usually spice them up pretty good, so they don't taste bad.
And that is a thing that I've found, like, eating healthy and cooking healthy really teaches you how to cook right. Yes. Like, you use spices, yes, and you can make healthy food taste awesome.
Yes, and there's like this giant misconception out there that eating healthy costs so much more. While that may be true in some aspects, like my meal prep, I'll get food for a whole week and it costs me about $15. It just depends on what you're buying. If you're buying those specialty items like protein bars and stuff, yes, absolutely, those are expensive. Do you absolutely need those? No. I do get them. That's my reward or my treat sometimes. But, you know, just learning how to cook, learning portion control, I mean, that makes it so much easier. And there are, again, health foods that are really expensive, but if you just, learn to balance a little bit, it can actually be pretty cheap to eat healthy. You just got to try new things and look for new things at the supermarket.
And while we're on the topic of misconceptions, what would you say to people that say it's too time consuming or inconvenient? One of the main reasons I want to do these types of videos is to break every excuse people have and break barriers and all of that. So as far as like time consuming and stuff like that, can you talk a little bit about that?
I mean, your time is what you make of it. Again, I'm a mom. I work full time. I still find time to exercise 7 days a week. I find time to prepare meals for my family. Waking up early in the morning and going before work, or going out on your lunch and just walking for a little bit. There's plenty of time in the day. I saw this post one time. It said, going out and exercising for an hour a day seems like a lot, but yet sitting at home and watching an hour of television every night is usually a routine. And that's 100% true. If you have time, if you're sitting on the couch, get up and go take a walk, or sit on the floor and do some exercises or something. You've got to use your time wisely. Now, with that being said, it's not always gonna work out where you want to work out 7 days a week. You can take that time and sit on the couch, but if you're truly motivated and you want to make any change in your life, you're gonna make time for it.
Are there any resources that you use, like whether it's Pinterest, or are there any like staples in your routine, I guess, that have helped you?
I use Pinterest for my meal planning. As far as like looking up exercises and stuff, I actually attend, it's called Dance to Fit, and she gave me permission to talk about this at Get More Fitness, and we do a lot of different exercises there as well. So I do that class about 3 times a week on top of going to the gym. If you're ever wanting to try it out, it's awesome, it's super fun. But we have a group going, they give me a lot of ideas. You learn a lot of different exercises there as well. And then the gym that I go to actually has an app, and they have workouts on there as well, so that kind of gives me some ideas. I have looked up some like exercises on Pinterest, but usually I just kind of do my own thing. It just depends. Sometimes if you want to change it up a little bit, Pinterest, Instagram, there's all kinds of people on there that have really great information that you could look at and try to learn from. There's tons of information out there. It's very important to have those positive people in your life. This was a recent thing, me finding this group and going. My friend actually, she was like, you need to come try it, and I said absolutely not. And it's okay to be hesitant about things, but definitely getting out of your comfort zone. It was very hard for me to go do that because I was so nervous and anxious about it. And then I realized, these people are here for the same reason I am. And again, same thing, if you don't have the money, those Facebook groups, Instagram, there's tons of people out there that have the same goals as you, and it's definitely important to have that kind of community around you.
Failure is a part of any growth. Have you had moments where you get discouraged or fall off the wagon, and how do you not beat yourself up over that? Do you let yourself have those moments of weakness? Can you talk a little bit about that?
With COVID this last year, that actually happened a lot. So from October until I think he shut the gyms down in March, I was doing really great. I lost about 70 pounds in that time. And then when COVID hit, gyms were shut down. My job got a lot more stressful. It was becoming just a fiasco in my life, and I was definitely feeling that stress, and I definitely kind of went back down that rabbit hole where I was feeling depressed, and I didn't have that outlet of going to the gym. And so if you actually look at my weight graph from this year, it went down and then up and then back down again. So there are going to be moments like that. I mean, a pandemic, well, I shouldn't have used that as an excuse, but I did. And so then in the summer, when the gyms opened back up, I got back on it again. I was doing great. And then actually back in the fall, I was diagnosed with COVID. thank heavens I was fine, there was nothing wrong, but it took a toll on me mentally more than anything. You're stuck in your house for 10 days, I couldn't do anything, I got ripped from my routine. So there's definitely an up and down. You're gonna have your moments, or I mean, it might be a period of time where you just need to take that time for yourself, and that's perfectly fine. As long as you keep going. For me, it was like in January, I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna get back on this and keep going. And again, that's perfectly fine. It's okay to take time off if you're having a stressful time in your life, or you know, you're going through something. Just make sure that you remember that this was your end goal and that you want to keep going and that you want to keep your motivation, and just get back to it when you're feeling better.
What is the biggest mistake, in your opinion, that you see other people making? Like impatience, waiting on motivation to come, thinking it's too hard?
All of the above. A lot of people, you know, they'll start off and then they don't see those results instantly, and you're not going to see results instantly. I mean, when I look at myself in the mirror, I still see the same person sometimes. It's definitely, again, look at your goal. You know, you don't always, it's not always the best goal to be like, oh, I want to be skinny. No, you want to be healthy. You know, just keep working towards that. Even if it's a small change, you're still making a change, you're moving in the right direction. And I actually tell a lot of people that, because they're like, oh, the scale doesn't seem to be going down. Okay, but you're still doing better than what you were doing before. Even if it's, again, those small little changes, it's still an improvement from where you were. So keep moving forward, your results will come. You know, don't be discouraged if you're not seeing those results right away. Don't, you know, panic if you think that, you know, oh, I'm not doing great, you know, I'm gaining weight or whatever. As long as you're moving and you're trying to keep going, that's the biggest goal. Don't give up. Even, again, you know, if you're going through a rough patch, you're tired, you know, need a break, or, you know, pandemic hits and the gyms are shut down, just don't stop. Keep going. When everything gets normal again, just go right back at it.
Obviously nothing is easy, especially as we get older, busier, and have more people to take care of other than ourselves. Do you ever have fears of slipping back into your old lifestyle?
I do, yes. This year's kind of proven to me, though, that I can, you know, persevere over that. It is hard some days. I'm not going to pretend like this is just a walk in the park and life is great and I'm not tired, because there are days that I am tired. But again, just keep moving, keep going forward. I have to tell myself that all the time. You know, it helps if you have somebody to hold you accountable, a friend or a group of people, a Fitbit. Honestly, that's a great tool as well, but that is a course of fear. And again, the food, you know, sometimes you'll have days where you'll struggle and you'll see yourself kind of going back down to that unhealthy lifestyle. Again, it's okay to let yourself do it occasionally, but just, you've got to keep moving yourself forward. And that's what I have to tell myself all the time. Eat a small French fry, but the next day go back to what you were doing. Don't let it snowball out of control.
Right, because depriving yourself of everything isn't good either.
No.
But you just can't let yourself, and it's just like, you know, with depression or whatever, it's okay to let yourself have those days where you just lay on the couch and don't do anything.
Yes.
But if you stay in that place and in that headspace, that's when
that's
it
where
can
you start getting in trouble.
Exactly. What is the biggest thing that you've learned about yourself?
I think the biggest thing I've learned about myself is that I'm actually a lot stronger than I thought I was. And when I say stronger, I'm not talking about physically, I'm talking about mentally. Once you start working on yourself and putting that effort into yourself, you kind of realize, okay, you know, my problems weren't as bad as I was letting them on. Sometimes I'll just get, you know, to that really upset place in my life, and I still have those days, but you know, it's like working on yourself and releasing those endorphins through exercise, you just kind of become a different person. For instance, I would have never done this 2 years ago. There's no way. I would never be sitting here with a camera in my face. But you kind of learn, you know, things are different when you work on yourself. And I'm not just talking about losing weight, I'm just talking about in general. If you make a lifestyle change from where you were before, your whole life you'll have a completely different outlook on your life. Completely different.
I mean, me just looking back at addiction, it is literally, I mean, you can't picture something that hasn't happened yet, but you can envision what you want your future to look like and then start taking the steps to getting there and making that vision a reality.
Absolutely.
How has changing your lifestyle changed your outlook on life, whether it be motherhood or anything like that?
As far as like the outlook goes, it's definitely a lot. My whole entire life I have a lot more positivity. I try not to be as negative. Surrounding yourself with that group of people that have the same goals as you, as mentioned before, they kind of help keep you positive as well. There's days where I'm talking to my group of girls and I'm saying, oh, I feel terrible today, I ate like junk, and they're like, it's okay, you'll do better tomorrow. So definitely having that those positive people in your life also helps with the whole overall picture as well. I know we talked about that already, but I feel a lot happier now. I feel a lot healthier now. I feel motivated and not as stressed out. I mean, there's still days, but it's completely changed me. I'm a completely different person now than I was.
Is there anything else you want to add?
If my butt can do it, you guys can do it. That's the biggest thing.